You see, because my viewer, my friend, ladies, sluts, being a slut means you are sexually worthless. But I guess I don't know how that works, but apparently I'm a misogynist for it. Women having other qualities is not interesting to men because we don't need them. Like, I've had conversations with women and normal conversations, normal everyday conversations with them, and they'll get creeped out. And they won't ever want to talk to me anymore. Arisen from our overly feminine society. Well, there we friggin' go. Shoot, I was in MGTOW, I didn't even know it. You know, it's a very interesting thing about rejection. You know, I have been rejected a lot in the course of my lifetime, a lot. That makes no sense. It's absurd to me how these women can expect good men, but they can't even make spaghetti.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, I don't even have anything to say to that one, really. Hello there, hello there, hello there, and welcome to episode 13 of The Descent of Man-osphere. The series where we expose the Man-osphere and the ways in which they're trying to reverse human evolution and drag us back into the fucking sea. And today, we're dealing with our very first black guy. Yeah, I know, it's political correctness gone fucking mad. I am, of course, talking about BASSFZz, or BASSFZz, or whatever the fuck, however you pronounce that. I could have looked that up, but frankly, I don't fucking care. Or the name he refers to himself as, which is ZZZ, which is the one I'm going to go with. Now, having made that joke about it being political correctness gone mad, I think it actually is sort of a sign of some progress, actually, that there are black people like ZZZ who are comfortable enough in Western society that they feel it's okay to be complete fucking cunts as well. And even though he's a black guy, ZZZ so desperately wants to be white. I mean, really, really ridiculously white, right? And not just that, but he wants to be a white Republican. To the point where he said to me in a comments discussion that we had once that he thought that Davis Orini was not racist. Let that one soak in for a second. Mental. He's anti-abortion, he's anti-gun control, and he's super religious. Which brings us on to our first order of business, which, although he doesn't actually address this subject very often, I think has a lot of explanatory power as to the shit that's coming up later. And he addressed it in a video called... Oh, for fuck's sake. Yep, we're dealing with an idiot.
I took biology 1 and 2 in college. I've done a lot of independent research on the theory of evolution. Myself, outside of class, took lots of different tests and stuff on it. So I understand the theory of evolution pretty fucking well.
So if you understand evolution so well, what's your fucking problem with it?
So I understand the theory of evolution pretty fucking well. I'm not ignorant. I get the process. I get everything scientists are saying, everything biologists are saying. I get all the genetics. I still just don't think it accounts for the creation of all life on this planet.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's ridiculous. I tell you what, ZZZ, the main reason that evolution doesn't account for the origins of life on this planet is because it doesn't fucking try to, you twat. The particular field of study you're looking for there would be abiogenesis, okay? Evolution deals with the shit that happens after life is already in place, okay? You fucking idiot. And it's that kind of religious fucking nonsense that I think bleeds into all the rest of the shit that we're going to have a look at in the rest of this video. Which leads us into... Now, for ZZZ's inevitable bit about rape, I could have gone with any number of occasions he does slut shaming. I mean, he does it all the fucking time. He is the slut shamer in chief. And it's often in connection to women who get raped and all the rest of it, right? I mean, he really is a fucking asshole. But instead, we're going to take a look at this fucking shit.
Hi, I'm Anna Akana, and I'm here to help women everywhere not get raped. Because it's totally our responsibility, right?
Want to do a video response? Let's get this done.
Wow, that's really dynamic video making there, ZZZ. And for those who are wondering why there are two of him in this video, this is one of the things he does from time to time, where he has these really unconvincing back and forths with himself. Sort of like the incredibly pointless and unconvincing back and forths that we have together in these videos. Yeah, I suppose it's not entirely unlike what we do here, Rory Cats. But let's not analyse it too much, otherwise it'll just fucking fall to pieces. People will see through it. Yes, I suppose so. Now give me some fucking chicken. Alright, Rory Cats, I'll get you some chicken in a bit. I'm just doing the video, okay? Anyway.
Hi, I'm Anna Akana, and I'm here to help women everywhere not get raped. Because it's totally our responsibility, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Sorry, what was your answer again, Zers?
That girl's playing with fire right now.
But will you rape me?
Yes, ma'am.
We will. That escalated quickly.
I'm just gonna call 911 really quick.
Yes, and we all know how the end of that scene played out. Go ahead and call them. They can't unrape you. Actually, that scene probably would have went something like this. I'll take the front hole, you take the back. I get to do it today!
And yet, you expect to be taken seriously on this topic, do you? Wow.
If your bodyguards aren't trustworthy, protect yourself the old American way.
Isn't she Japanese?
No, she's American, you dickhead. I mean, she's of Japanese descent, but she's American.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
Did she have an extended mag perk on that mother sucker?
No, I don't have the time for rape.
You know, all joking aside, with all these jokes about rape, it really looks like she's perpetualizing rape culture. Man, I guess that whole internalized misogyny thing, maybe it really is a thing.
Wow, what a fucking laughably ludicrous misunderstanding of a very simple concept. Right, she's not making fun of rape victims as, you know, you were a moment ago, you fucking prick. So how is she in any way perpetuating rape culture? Please do tell me that. Oh right, yeah, you're talking even more fucking shit.
Society didn't have any invested interest in teaching me how not to have people mess with me. That's all stuff I had to learn on my own. Welcome to being an adult. Funny thing about all of that, the whole martial arts thing I learned when I was 13. Keep going, Anna.
You know what would be better? If we just taught young boys that rape isn't even an option.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck, 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 fuck you.
Wow, that is literally his entire response to the concept of educating children about rape. Well, it seems that you're even more of a fucking vacuous and evil piece of shit than I already thought you were. I mean, I always thought you were fucking scum, Zers, but somehow I still managed to fucking overestimate you there.
And that's just the way it is. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. And that's just the way it is.
Now the thing that Zers does regularly is make video responses to people, which is all well and good. And I'm going to take you through one now he made in response to Lacey Green, who is making her third or fourth appearance, I think it is, in this series. Which I know is crazy, right? I mean, an outspoken woman who dares to oppose them in any way whatsoever. I wonder why she's such a favourite target of the Man-osphere. I can't put my finger on it.
College, I became friends with this guy. He was kind of lonely, he was good looking, a little bit socially awkward. He pursued me romantically, very aggressively, and when I told him that I wasn't interested, he became violent. One morning he spammed rape threats, my address, my phone number, all over my YouTube channel. He turned our mutual friends against me, he stalked me. When I moved into my first apartment on my own, he used to leave me violent drawings like a bloody knife through a heart. He'd always draw them on green post-it notes and left them square in the middle of my door, as if to tell me that he was watching me. Terrorized me for years, all because I wouldn't date him. Sound familiar?
So the very first thing Lacey does is she tells us an anecdotal story of when she got stalked by some socially awkward kid that wanted to date her that she rejected. Now, The only problem I have here, and I have this problem with a lot of women, is why didn't she do anything about that? Now, maybe she left out some details. Maybe she did do something about it. Maybe she did alert the authorities and he kept doing it. Or maybe she did do something about it eventually. But she said, he's terrified me for years. I don't understand. Why didn't you defend yourself? Why? And there's a lot of women who do things like this. And in fact, I'm going to make a video about this more extensively. But a couple months ago, this one girl decided to just straight up lie on me. To just straight up say that I was stalking her when I really wasn't. And then like she tells my friend that she always felt that I was following her and whatnot. And the problem I have is, why didn't she do anything? Why didn't she take steps to protect herself? And I ask this question to any woman out there who's having these things happen to you.
Firstly, right, you're doing a little bit of fucking victim blaming there, aren't you? Really. But ultimately, what are you saying there? That because you were wrongly accused of stalking, that means that all of these other women are lying? Because, I mean, that's a bold opening conversational gambit. And a fucking disgusting one, too.
The response to Elliot Rodger's massacre has widely focused on the fact that he's a psycho and a madman, glossing over the fact that he uploaded a string of 20 videos where he repeatedly stated that the reason why he did this is because women wouldn't sleep with him. He said in plain language in his War on Women manifesto that had a woman slept with him, he never would have done this, even consider it. And yet all we hear is a sentence or two about how he was sexually frustrated and rejected by women. You want madness? That is madness. There's a big conversation here that's being completely ignored. Whether or not he's mentally ill remains to be seen at this point, but
That man was absolutely mentally ill.
Oh wow, I mean, I'm shocked because I don't think I've ever heard you mention that you were a psychologist who had met with and psychoanalysed Elliot Rodgers over a long period of time on several occasions. Oh, what's that? Oh, you have absolutely no formal training in psychology or psychiatry whatsoever and had never met Elliot Rodger in your fucking life? Oh, well, what you just said there is utterly fucking worthless then, isn't it? As you just extracted it whole clod from your fucking anus. Also, do tell me, Z, what mental illness has vicious fucking misogyny as one of its symptoms? Do tell me that. Now look, Elliot Rodger might well have been very seriously fucked up in the head, okay? But what the ad hoc fucking armchair psychologists of the Man-osphere are doing here is attempting to sweep the Elliot Rodger incident under the carpet by just saying he's mentally ill. And they do that because they know he was one of them. The same kind of vicious, spiteful, fucking hateful, misogynist shit that Rodger said gets expressed by people from within the Man-osphere all the fucking time. But just saying he was mad and leaving it there is far too simplistic, guys. And I know that's how you prefer your explanations, incredibly childishly fucking simplistic. But we're not in preschool anymore, guys, okay? We're going to need to look a little bit deeper for the fucking source of this problem. Yeah?
When this toxic masculinity collides with entitlement. A large part of mainstream masculinity is learning to see women as objects to have sex with them, to make them food, to date them, to do their laundry.
Man, the problem I have here is she's making it seem like this is once again the textbook definition for all men, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Not all men see women as just objects. In fact, very few do just see women as just strictly things to have sex with.
Now you must realise that you, as an anti-feminist YouTuber, are part of a community which expresses exactly that kind of shit all the fucking time. You stupid fucking bastard.
Is extremely misogynistic, but elements of that are all over our culture. Just last month, a girl in Connecticut turned down a guy for prom, so he decided to stab her repeatedly in the hallways of their high school. A few years ago, a man shot 13 women in a Pittsburgh gym after vowing vengeance against females for refusing to provide him with sex and pleasure. Here we see, in the extreme, examples of men who think that women owe them sex. You know, that it's their birthright or something. What happens when that angry, entitled man is armed with a gun, with a knife, with date rape drugs? Violence is one way that men attempt to maintain their power over women.
Why the fuck are you laughing at that? You fucking piece of shit. How else exactly would you describe the shooting, stabbing and raping of women? I mean, you really are a fucking scumbag, aren't you, Zz?
You know, a lot of things that you can't do to a woman. Like, you can't even say that when a woman gets raped, maybe she had something to do with it, because then that's victim blaming.
Yes, precisely. That is victim blaming. You fucking asshole.
When it comes to entitlement, people who are entitled don't work towards what they want. They feel like they should just get it for just being. You're not entitled if you invest in. That's like saying that someone who invests in a company is entitled to reaping the benefits. Actually, legally speaking, they are entitled to it. That's the definition. That's one of the definitions of entitlement. Reaping government aspects from an investment. You know, so if you invest time, some men are entitled to it if you're putting in time. If they're putting in effort into a woman, they're talking to her, they're spending money on her, they're spending time with her.
Fuck's sake. Well done. By saying what you just said, you made Lacey's point for her in a way that she could only have fucking dreamt of. You fucking idiot. You utter moron.
That is misogyny, but it's not always extreme like this either. Think about things like street harassment, catcalling, the verbal abuse that so many women put up with online, stalking, threats, intimidation, assault, rape, physical violence.
Okay, so the first couple of things she says are marginal and just kind of have to deal with one, just ignoring it. Like, if you're getting catcalled, ignore it. Move on. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting harassed online, turn the fucking computer off, okay? Like,
wow, you really are all about the fucking victim blaming today, aren't you? So basically, you think it's okay to send rape and death threats to people because it's actually the victim's fault for coming on the internet in the first place, right? Or for coming on the internet and then not leaving immediately once they were harassed. You cunt.
Yeah, like ladies, if you don't want to deal with this bullshit, you have complete control over that.
Men who act this way feel entitled to women's bodies and to their time.
Yeah, like 0.7% of the population.
Not to come over all teal dear about it, but citation needed.
They're so entitled, in fact, that many of them believe that this is a sign that we put women on a pedestal. Oh, it's so wonderful not being seen as a full human being. And no, it's not all men who act this way. But you know what? It's way too many. Just look at all the terrible people posting their condolences and congratulations for a mass murderer on social media. Let that sink in for a second. Mainstream media jumps on the bandwagon and labels Elliot a lonely virgin, implying that sex is something women should provide, men can't live without it, that it's understandable that he might just lose it if he doesn't get his way. He wasn't just a lonely virgin, he wasn't just a magnet. He's an entitled misogynist with a gun. 4 guns, actually, and like 8 bajillion rounds of ammo. Elliot is the monster that we as a culture, as a society, have created. His terrifying acts are not random, isolated occurrences. They're part of a serious cultural illness that affects all of us, especially women, every single day. And every person, every media outlet that gives him the madman stamp without any further discussion is a part of that problem. I think we need to be asking ourselves, why is it so hard to admit that misogyny actually kills people?
No, there are some things I agree with, but the last thing is just like, misogyny actually kills people. Look, you dumbass, there's lots of reasons why people kill other fucking people. He didn't just hate women, you dumbass, like he hated men too. He hated people in general. So, like, it is an isolated incident because normal people don't do that. Like, look, if this was normal, we wouldn't be having a discussion about it. So it's ridiculous for any feminist or anyone in the mainstream media to say, oh, well, hold on, this is normalized. There's a whole bunch. No, there's not a whole bunch of guys going around stabbing people.
Yeah, but there are loads of guys shooting people dead in public, you know, just like Elliot Rodger did. And maybe, just maybe, we should do something about that huge fucking problem.
We're not just going to say, oh, wait, hold on, women, we need to just protect all these women. We need to protect men, too. We need to just protect people. And that's another problem I have. It's all just focused on, oh, women. He killed 4 men, too, but no one seems to care about them.
He killed men because they were in the fucking way, you asshole. His target were the women in the sorority house. The men just happened to be in the way of achieving his fucking goal, okay? And the fact that you've thrown up that fucking red herring, just the latest and thankfully last of the many fucking diversionary tactics that you've expanded upon in this fucking video, shows rather conclusively what a misogynist fucking piece of shit you really are. I mean, you're an awful person. You really are a prick. But anyway, as a religious bigot, I wonder what Zz had to say about gay marriage.
So the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage all across the land of the US of A. And a lot of people have a problem with that. A lot of people do. And some people aren't. Some people are really happy and ecstatic and think that the whole fight for marriage equality has been won. But no, in all honesty, I believe that shit has just begun. And except the battle that's about to be taking place it kind of terrifies me just a little bit. I am telling you guys, a witch hunt is about to begin.
I always find it interesting when I hear Christians use the word witch hunt. Because actual witch hunts, hunts for people who they thought were witches, were done by Christian religious extremist bigots. Like you. Zz.
I think it's really important that we actually start this discussion by talking about what marriage was in principle. See, the whole reason why every ancient civilization even had marriage was about procreation. That's why only men and women could get married. A lot of people were against gay marriage, not because they hated gay people, but because, well, in principle, gay people couldn't get married because they couldn't procreate.
So that's infertile couples and elderly couples thrown under the bus by you, just to satiate your fucking hatred for gay people. What a great start to your fucking moral crusade. And by the way, you lying prick, lots of people who were against gay marriage were against it because they hated gay people.
See, in our modern contemporary society, we were actually able to disconnect the idea of sex being about procreation. And with sex not being about procreation, we were able to disconnect marriages about being about procreation as well.
If that is just a modern phenomenon, then please do explain to me why prostitution has been around since the earliest days of human civilization. Oh, you're talking even more shit. Yay.
So yeah, as it turns out, a lot of pastors weren't against gay marriage because they hated gay people. It was because, well, in principle, they just couldn't do it. I mean, it's kind of like saying dogs can't fly.
No, it's not at all like that, you lying fucking prick. Right, dogs cannot fly. That is physically impossible. We know that. I think we're both in agreement on that point. But gay people can say, I do. They can also sign their name on the bottom of a fucking marriage license. That's all you've got to do. So there's clearly a very big difference there, you fucking homophobia apologist douchebag.
You'll notice that I said several times, it's not that people hate gay people, it's blah 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 blah. Well, there's a very important reason for that. You see, a lot of people, when they were rallying the cry or supporting gay marriage, a lot of the time they lambasted anyone who disagreed with them as a hateful bigot. They usually said a whole bunch of stupid shit like, you're a homophobe, you're a bigot, you're on the wrong side of history. Now, I have a really big problem with that. And the problem I have with that is, it wasn't logical arguments that convinced people to, side with gay marriage, or it was fear. It was fear of losing your job and your livelihood.
Oh, we're playing the oppressed homophobic Christian card. So soon? Well, we all knew it was fucking coming, didn't we? I mean, why can't society just leave these fucking people alone? All they want to do is be left alone to go about hating people and denying their fellow citizens basic human rights. I mean, it's so hard nowadays in the modern world to be a hateful, homophobic piece of shit. Ah, boo fucking who?
All I'm saying is, I have a huge problem with how we got to this point. This point where we now lambast people who don't feel the way we feel with evil, hateful words. I mean, that's a very sinister way to control people, because that's all it is. Control. It's thought control. It's lambasting and turning otherwise good people into the enemy in other people's eyes because they don't feel the way you feel.
Well, I suppose then, sirs, you'd never engage in lambasting people with hateful words just because you disagree with them, right? Regular viewers will know what's coming now. Roll the motherfucking clips.
Are actually white knights and feminists. Hear something a white knight did not want to hear. White knights. You idiotic fool. You doofus! Here's the thing about sluts, alright? The thing about a slut is that the real person that a slut hurts is herself and her potential children. You dumbass. No, Bree. You can go fuck yourself with that. You idiotic fool. You daft buffoon. People like that are fucking disgusting. The fucking level of arrogance that it takes to dismiss somebody because they don't feel the way you feel fucking disgusts me.
Oh, Zers, you fucking hypocritical sack of shit. Now, given that most of this episode has been about him giving out advice about sex, you'd imagine he's got some pretty fucking incredible experience in that regard, right?
Well, no, that's not my problem. It's not that girls don't want to have sex with me. It's that I want to be in a committed relationship. So I'm a virgin by choice, you know.
Say what?
I want to be in a committed relationship. So I'm a virgin by choice, you know.
Sorry, Zers. Come again? Pun intended.
I'm a virgin by choice.
No, sorry, one more time.
I'm a virgin by choice. I'm a virgin by choice. I'm a virgin by choice.
Yes, that's right. Zers has the temerity to be a virgin, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. But then to hand out sexual advice to people and as if he knows anything about the fucking subject whatsoever. Like, if I want legal advice, Zers, I don't go to somebody who has chosen specifically not to read law until they find the judge of their dreams. Well, okay, that's where the analogy breaks down. But you get the fucking idea, okay? You should basically shut the fuck up about sex, because you don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I'm basically done with this fucking piece of shit now. Firstly, I've had a battle to try and get rid of Rory Cats from the fucking corner of this shot, but he keeps jumping back up there, the little bastard. So you're just going to have to put up with him, alright? At least there's one beautiful face on the screen now. Anyway, there's so much about Zers that I didn't even really get round to. There's his obsession with victim blaming. Fucking hell, I barely got to touch on that. Whenever anything happens, when a woman gets raped, it's always her fault, seemingly, or certainly most of the time, in his opinion. If someone gets harassed, it's not the harasser's fault. It's the person's fault for not ignoring it or for not doing something about it, like leaving the internet or whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't get round to his opposition to abortion, which, whilst not being an absolute advocate of outright bans and all the rest of it, his plans would be pretty fucking restrictive and in terms of taking away women's rights and stuff. He's described gun control as asinine. Yes, that's right. Attempts to try and stop fucking children getting massacred on a seemingly almost fucking daily basis in America, to him, that's asinine. And I barely got to mention his absolute fucking desperation to be white. I mean, this guy so badly wants to be white. It's ridiculous, and I don't even know particularly why. He just does. And I barely got to touch on his utter obsession with going back to the morality of the 1950s. Whenever you watch it, it's always about, oh, the man should go to work and the woman should cook. And it's that, oh God, it's just ridiculous. Especially because someone should point out to him that being a black guy in 1950s America was probably not a fucking great experience, mate. And there's loads of other stuff that he engaged in that I just couldn't be bothered with. But anyway, to sum up, BASSFZz, whatever the fuck that name is supposed to be, Zers, go fuck yourself.